Have you recently moved and are wondering how to update your address with the IRS? Keeping your address current is crucial for receiving important tax documents and correspondence. In this video, we'll walk you through the different ways you can notify the IRS about your new address, what forms you might need, and what to expect after you submit your update. Let's get started by understanding why it's so important to keep your information up to date with the IRS. Updating your address with the IRS ensures you receive all tax-related documents, refunds, and notices without delay. If your address is outdated, you could miss important deadlines or even lose out on your tax refund. The IRS uses your address to send you notices about your tax return, audits, or other important information. So keeping your address current is not just a formality, it's essential for staying on top of your tax responsibility. Anyone who has recently moved or changed their mailing address should update their information with the IRS. This applies to individuals, businesses, and even tax professionals who have changed their business address. Whether you rent, own, or temporarily relocate, it's important to notify the IRS as soon as possible to avoid any disruptions in communication. Ideally, you should notify the IRS of your new address as soon as you move. This helps ensure that any tax documents or refunds sent by mail will reach you at your new location. If you're expecting a refund or correspondence, updating your address promptly can prevent delays or complications. Even if you've already filed your tax return, you can still update your address at any time. There are several ways to update your address with the IRS. You can do it by mailing a form, calling the IRS, or updating your address when you file your next tax return. Each method has its own process and requirements, so let's explore each option in detail to find out which one works best for you. One of the most common ways to update your address with the IRS is by submitting Form 8822 Change of Address. This form is straightforward to fill out and can be mailed directly to the IRS. It's designed for individuals, and there's a separate version, Form 8822B, for businesses. Let's look at how to complete and submit Form 8822. You can download Form 8822 directly from the IRS website. Simply go to irs.gov and search for Form 8822. The form is available as a PDF, which you can print and fill out by hand. Make sure to read the instructions carefully to ensure you provide all the necessary information. When filling out Form 8822, you'll need to provide your old address, your new address, and your Social Security number or individual taxpayer identification number. Double-check all information for accuracy. If you're updating an address for a joint return, both spouses must sign the form. Once completed, mail it to the address listed in the form's instructions. After completing Form 8822, you'll need to mail it to the IRS. The mailing address depends on where you live, so check the instructions on the form for the correct address. It's a good idea to use certified mail or another trackable service to ensure your form arrives safely. Keep a copy of the form for your records. If you're updating the address for a business, you'll need to use Form 8822B. This form is similar to Form 8822, but is specifically for businesses and entities. You'll need to provide your employer identification number, EIN, and the new business address. Follow the instructions carefully and mail the form to the appropriate IRS address. Another way to update your address is by entering your new address on your next tax return. The IRS will update your records based on the address you provide. This method is convenient if you're close to tax season, but keep in mind that any correspondence sent before you file may still go to your old address. You can also update your address by calling the IRS directly. Be prepared to verify your identity by providing your full name, date of birth, Social Security number, and old and new addresses. The IRS representative will update your records over the phone. This method can be quick, but you may experience wait time. If you prefer, you can visit a local IRS office to update your address in person. Bring identification and any relevant documents, such as your Social Security card or tax return. An IRS representative will help you update your information on the spot. Check the IRS website for office locations and hours before you go. You can also update your address by sending a signed written statement to the IRS. Include your full name, old and new addresses, Social Security number or EIN, and your signature. Mail the statement to the address where you filed your last tax return. This method is simple, but may take longer to process. No matter which method you choose, make sure to include all required information: your full name, old and new addresses, Social Security number or EIN, and your signature if mailing a form or statement. Missing information can delay the update process, so double-check everything before submitting. After you submit your address update, it may take the IRS several weeks to process your request. If you mail a form or statement, allow at least 4 to 6 weeks for the change to take effect. Updates made by phone or in person may be processed more quickly, but always confirm with the IRS if you have concerns. To confirm your address has been updated, you can call the IRS or check your next tax document or refund notice. If you continue to receive mail at your old address after several weeks, contact the IRS to verify the status of your update. Keeping a record of your submission can help resolve any issues quickly. If you file jointly with your spouse, both of you must sign any form or written statement to update your address. This ensures that both parties agree to the change and that the IRS updates both records. If only one spouse moves, you should still notify the IRS to avoid confusion. Certain situations, like changing your address due to a divorce or the death of a spouse, may require additional documentation. In these cases, include copies of relevant legal documents with your form or statement. If you're unsure what to include, contact the IRS for guidance. If you're expecting a tax refund, updating your address is especially important. The IRS will mail your refund check to the address on file. If you move before receiving your refund, notify the IRS as soon as possible to avoid delays or lost checks. If you receive your refund by direct deposit, your address is still important for other IRS correspondence. Even if your bank information is correct, the IRS may send notices or other documents by mail. Always keep your address current to ensure you don't miss important updates. Updating your address with the U.S. Postal Service does not automatically update it with the IRS. You must notify both organizations separately. While USPS forwarding can help, it's not a substitute for updating your IRS records directly. Businesses must use Form 8822B to update their address with the IRS. This form is required for changes to the business mailing address, location, or responsible party. Make sure to keep your business records current to avoid missing important IRS notices or deadlines. If you're a tax professional, it's important to update your address with the IRS to ensure you receive all client correspondence and IRS notices. Use the appropriate forms and methods, and keep your records up to date to maintain compliance and provide the best service to your clients. Estates and trusts must also notify the IRS of any address changes. Use the appropriate form or written statement, and include the estate or trust's EIN. Keeping this information current helps ensure timely communication and compliance with tax obligations. If you live outside the United States, you can still update your address with the IRS using the same forms and methods. Be sure to include your complete foreign address and any required international codes. The IRS will use this address for all correspondence, so accuracy is important. Military members who move frequently should update their address with the IRS each time they relocate. Use the same forms and methods as civilians. Keeping your address current ensures you receive all tax documents and benefits without interruption. Students who move for school should also update their address with the IRS. This is especially important if you receive tax forms, refunds, or other correspondence while away from home. Use the same process as other individuals to keep your records up to date. If you claim dependents on your tax return and they move, you may need to update their address as well. This helps ensure that any IRS correspondence related to your dependents reaches the correct location. Check with the IRS if you're unsure about the process. Even if you don't file a tax return every year, it's important to update your address with the IRS if you expect to receive any correspondence. This can include notices, stimulus payments, or other important documents. Use the same forms and methods as filers. If you move often, consider using a permanent address, such as a trusted family member's home, for IRS correspondence. This can help ensure you don't miss important documents. However, always update the IRS whenever your primary residence changes to keep your records accurate. Be cautious when updating your address to avoid identity theft. Only use official IRS forms and contact methods. Never share your personal information with unverified sources. If you suspect fraud, contact the IRS immediately for assistance. Updating your address does not extend your tax filing or payment deadlines. Make sure to file and pay on time, even if your address change is still being processed. Late filings or payments can result in penalties and interest. If you don't update your address, you risk missing important IRS notices, tax refunds, or even audit letters. This can lead to missed deadlines, penalties, or lost refunds. Always keep your address current to avoid unnecessary complications with your taxes. For more information or assistance, you can contact the IRS by phone, visit their website, or go to a local office. The IRS website, irs.gov, has detailed instructions and resources for updating your address and handling other tax matters. The IRS website offers a wealth of information on address changes, forms, and frequently asked questions. You can download forms, read instructions, and find contact information for further help. Bookmark.irs.gov for easy access to these resources whenever you need them. To make your address update process as smooth as possible, double-check all information before submitting, use certified mail for forms, and keep copies of everything you send. If you're unsure about any step, consult the IRS website or contact their support for guidance. Some common mistakes when updating your address include forgetting to sign the form, providing incomplete information, or mailing it to the wrong address. Avoid these errors by carefully following the instructions and reviewing your submission before sending it. If you realize you made a mistake after submitting your address update, contact the IRS as soon as possible. Provide the correct information and ask for guidance on how to fix the error. Acting quickly can help prevent delays or complications with your tax records. Always keep copies of any forms, statements, or correspondence you send to the IRS. Store these records in a safe place, as you may need them for future reference or to resolve any issues that arise. Good record keeping is an important part of managing your taxes. After your address update is processed, the IRS may send a confirmation notice to your new address. This notice confirms that your records have been updated. If you don't receive confirmation within a few weeks, contact the IRS to check the status. Remember, updating your address with the IRS does not update it with your state tax agency. You'll need to notify your state's tax department separately. Check your state's website for instructions and forms to ensure your state tax records are also current. Besides the IRS, remember to update your address with other agencies, such as Social Security, your bank, and your employer. Keeping all your records current helps prevent miscommunications and ensures you receive all important documents. To sum up, updating your address with the IRS is a simple but important step to ensure you receive all tax-related documents and avoid unnecessary complications. Use the official forms, double-check your information, and keep your records safe. If you have questions, the IRS website and support lines are there to help. Thanks for watching. Keeping your address up to date with the IRS is a key part of managing your tax responsibilities. Whether you're an individual, business, or tax professional, following these steps will help you stay organized and avoid any surprises during tax season. Stay proactive, and your tax life will be much smoother.